The highly anticipated NCIS Origins Season 1, Episode 13, titled Monsoon, is shaping up to be a game-changing episode that dives deep into the early career of Leroy Jethro Gibbs and the formative cases that defined his legendary career. As the prequel series continues to explore the backstory of Gibbs and his early days as a Marine and budding NCIS agent, Episode 13 promises high-stakes action, personal revelations, and a storm, both literal and metaphorical, that will shake the foundations of the team. This episode is set against the backdrop of an impending monsoon, a perfect metaphor for the chaos and upheaval brewing within Gibbs' world. With tensions rising in both his professional and personal life, this hour of NCIS Origins is bound to leave fans on the edge of their seats. Case that hits too close to home. The episode kicks off with Gibbs, Austin Stoll, working tirelessly on a new case that quickly takes a dark turn. The body of a high-ranking Marine intelligence officer, Captain James Holloway, is found washed up near the docks in Manila, Philippines. At first glance, it appears to be an accidental drowning caused by the heavy rains from the incoming monsoon. However, upon closer inspection, Gibbs and his mentor, Special Agent Mike Franks, Kyle Schmid, notice bruising around the captain's neck, clear signs of strangulation. As they dig deeper, they discover that Holloway was working on a classified operation linked to an underground smuggling ring that traffics sensitive U.S. military intelligence. Was his murder an act of revenge? Or was he silenced to prevent a leak? The case forces Gibbs to question just how deep corruption runs, even among those sworn to protect their country. The return of a ghost from Gibbs' past. To complicate matters further, Gibbs is blindsided when an old acquaintance resurfaces. Marine Corporal Thomas Raines, a former squad mate from Gibbs' time in the Corps. Raines, guest star Taylor Kinney, had been presumed dead after a failed mission overseas, but here he is, very much alive and holding valuable information about Holloway's death. Raines claims Holloway was onto something big, something that could take down a powerful network of rogue military officials engaged in illegal operations. But before he can reveal more, he disappears, leaving Gibbs and Franks scrambling to track him down. This storyline adds another emotional layer for Gibbs, who has always struggled with the ghosts of his past. He blames himself for not being able to save his men, and Raines' sudden reappearance forces him to confront feelings of guilt, duty, and the true cost of war. A brewing storm, both outside and within. As the investigation heats up, so does the storm. The monsoon begins making landfall, cutting off power to key locations and making it nearly impossible for the team to move freely. The NCIS field office in Manila is forced into lockdown, leaving Gibbs and Franks to work the case with limited resources. Meanwhile, young Special Agent Vera Strickland, Margot Harshman, finds herself in a race against time to decrypt classified documents Holloway had hidden before his death. The files contain names, high-profile names, that could implicate key figures in the military. However, the deeper they dig, the more dangerous things become. Someone on the inside is watching them, and it's clear that Gibbs and his team are being targeted. A betrayal from within. One of the biggest twists of the episode comes when the mole within the NCIS unit is revealed. Agent Carter Dunn, guest star Eric Winter, a rising star within the agency. Dunn, who had seemed like a trustworthy ally, is exposed as a double agent working for the very smuggling ring Holloway had been investigating. When Franks and Gibbs uncover evidence linking Dunn to Holloway's murder, Dunn attempts to flee, but not before setting Gibbs up as a scapegoat. He leaks false information to higher-ups, making it appear as though Gibbs is the one who compromised the operation. This betrayal shakes Gibbs to his core. He had trusted Dunn, even mentored him to an extent, and now he finds himself in the crosshairs of his own agency. With the monsoon raging outside and Dunn trying to cover his tracks, Gibbs is forced into a desperate fight for both his life and his career. The climactic showdown. The episode reaches its climax in an abandoned warehouse near the storm-ravaged docks. Gibbs, still reeling from Dunn's betrayal, manages to track him down before he can escape the country. What follows is one of the most intense face-offs of the season. Gibbs versus Dunn, mentor versus traitor. Dunn, armed and desperate, tries to justify his actions, claiming that the military system is broken and that he was merely playing the game to survive. But Gibbs isn't having it. You don't betray your team. You don't betray the people who trust you, Gibbs growls before disarming Dunn in a brutal fight sequence that showcases the raw intensity that would come to define Gibbs in later years. As the storm rages outside, Gibbs makes the arrest, ensuring that Dunn will pay for his crimes. But the victory is bittersweet. Holloway is still dead, and the deeper corruption within the military remains a lingering threat. Aftermath and what's next? In the aftermath of the case, Gibbs is left grappling with the realization that no matter how much good he tries to do, the world is filled with shadows he may never fully expose. Franks, ever the mentor, reminds him, "We do what we can, kid." But the fight never really ends. Meanwhile, Rain's fate remains uncertain. He vanishes once more, leaving behind only a cryptic note. There's more to this than you know. Keep digging. With just a few episodes left in the season, NCIS Origins is setting the stage for an explosive finale. Who else is involved in the smuggling ring? Will Gibbs be able to clear his name completely? And will the storm, both outside and within, finally subside, or is this just the beginning of something even more dangerous? One thing's for sure, NCIS Origins is delivering the kind of storytelling that made the original NCIS a global phenomenon, and episode 13, Monsoon, is bound to be a fan favorite.